Welcome back. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and today we're talking about menstrual cycle. We're addressing a common concerns about menstruation and hormonal imbalances. And yes, on the first batch of the show, we talked about menstrual cycle, and some people had a few things to say. Some of our men were calling in. I appreciate you that you're calling and sharing your thoughts on the topic. But we are all looking at it from different perspectives. And today we are actually looking at it from biology, the biological perspective, from hormonal imbalances perspective, from menstruation when it has to do with the human body. I know you guys want to go to you say going on period, a woman on a period is unclean, she's dirty, that if you do anything with her at the period, it can affect your destiny and all that. I hear you loud and clear. It's tradition, it's cultural, it's religious. We all have our beliefs which are valid, so to say. But we're talking about biology. We're talking about realism. We're talking about reality right here on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. So yeah, if you have thoughts or questions, I know you guys are calling in. I know you have a few things to say, and I'm going to take your calls. Don't worry. The show is not all about me. It's about you, my listeners and viewers. Before I continue the show, I have to remind you that I have a special guest with me in the studio today. She is a distinguished figure in the health and wellness sector, boasting a remarkable career as a chartered health and wellness coach. Someone who has been accredited by the Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Coaching in Nigeria. With a government license in alternative medicine, she stands as a beacon of holistic healing, specializing in naturopathy to address diverse ailments. She's a trailblazer in women's health. Chidima, my guest for today, is also somebody who's renowned in women's hormonal expert and have positively impacted the lives of over 35,000 women worldwide. Her profound understanding of the intricate workings of the female body enables her to offer tailored solutions for hormonal balance and overall well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, don't say I'm speaking English, but this English I'm speaking is making sense. So I have with me in the studio Ekume Chidima Blessing, chartered health and wellness coach. Welcome on board. Good to have you in the studio.
Debbie. Thank you.
I can't wait. I'm so happy to have you in the studio because see, they've asked me a lot of questions that I don't even know how to answer. Some people say, oh, why do we have two periods? A woman have two periods in a month. Oh, my wife always have two periods in a month.
Oh, really?
Some people say, oh, I want to have sex with her. She's using period to lie, and she'll go and pour palm oil inside, and then she was like, today I must find out that whether this thing is real or not. And some also have come from the perspective of, oh, when you're with a woman, the traditional and cultural perspective, that when you're with a woman in a period, you should avoid her sexually, avoid her in all way because she's in quotes unclean. Whew, exhausting. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. As a professional, of course, can you take us through what the menstrual cycle is all about? And someone that once asked and said, oh, is she sick when she's on menstruation? Is she sick? Maybe she can cook. So I would like you to help us break it down. How bad, or maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not that bad, but maybe from your perspective, how bad does it get, or what is the menstrual cycle about, and what baggages and packages does it come with?
Okay. Hi. Thank you so much, Debbie. I'm so glad to talk about this topic today because this is really something I want to create awareness on, so people get to understand that this is not it's not like the way you live your daily life as a man, right? So I want to first start by saying someone bought a period stimulator, right, and gathered like 5 guys and tried it on all of them. So they were simulating it at first level, second level. They couldn't withstand to the third one.
What do you mean stimulator though?
A period stimulator for guys.
So
that's
it's a machine
like
or
a
something?
machine, yeah. So you wear it, then you increase the
pain.
you increase the pain. They couldn't stand till the third level. And for some women, they are chilled at 7. They're so chilled at 8. A guy couldn't stand at the level 3, right?
Wow.
Now, what happens during a woman's period? Let me start by menstrual cycle. We have different cycles. And with the person that said the wife sees her period twice a month, it's very possible. So if your wife should have like a 25 days cycle, so one cycle is from the first day of your period to the next day of your next period.
Okay.
So if the first day of your period, and you have a 25-day cycle, right?
Yes.
And the first day of your period starts, and the cycle ends on the 25th day. Ideally, in a month, if your first period is on the 1st, that means the second one should be on the what? 25th.
Yes.
Because you have a 25-day cycle.
Okay.
So it rarely happens, right? But it's possible for a woman to see her period twice in a month.
But it won't be every month, right?
It won't be every month.
Okay,
Yeah, it won't be
cool.
every month. So it's very, very possible.
Yes.
So period on its own and the whole cycle, we have a lot of things that can happen to a woman when she's menstruating. Let me start by the cycle itself. From the cycle, we have the follicular stimulating phase, and we have the luteinizing phase. Now, in between the follicular stimulating phase and the luteinizing phase is the ovulation. That's where people get pregnant, right? So your body, first off, at the follicular stimulating phase, very close to your ovulation, prepares you for emergency pregnancy. Have you seen a pregnant woman? Is she sick? Right? It prepares you for emergency pregnancy. So your body literally, when the eggs are released, I don't want to go deep into all of that, but when the eggs are released, your body literally prepares you for pregnancy in case you get pregnancy in this period.
Wow.
Now, your body produces temporal pregnancy hormones, and these are the hormones that make some women throw up. They have morning sickness during their ovulation, right before their period. They throw up, they get headaches, they have morning sickness, they vomit a lot. Why? Because for some people, it gives them that exact feeling of pregnancy at that stage, right? So when your eggs are released, it travels down the tube, right? So before the whole ovulation and all of that, you already, your uterine walls are already preparing. Now your uterine walls, if it's this tiny, right? If it's this tiny, when it's preparing for your ovulation, you're supposed to get pregnant on your ovulation. So your uterine walls prepares for pregnancy.
Wow.
Now, if your uterine walls are thin, they are not thick enough, it might not be able to hold an egg when it's attached during fertilization. That is why if your uterine walls are not very thick, your egg can fall off and you get miscarriage. Right? Now, your uterine walls are supposed to be thick. If you're a healthy woman, you have no problem. At that point now, this thickness, the uterine walls we're talking about is flesh. Right?
Yes.
It's flesh. Let me just use the word flesh.
Yes.
So it thickens to be able to carry pregnancy, carry eggs, and when there is no pregnancy, it literally ruptures. Let me use the word ruptures.
Oh my
Have
God.
you ever you've if you open chicken,
Oh my
right?
God.
You know how the walls of the inside, the membrane,
Yes.
the whole
Yeah.
the whole fleshy part of the inside part of a chicken, try to squeeze it till it melts.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's what some women feel during their periods. Now,
Oh my God.
period pains differ. Some people pass out from period pains. As a matter of fact, recently, personally, right? Because before my period comes, I have some certain herbs I take to just, calm my body and everything before the period. So this time around, I was very, very busy. And guess what?
What?
This period came. I told my mom, the first time I experienced something like this was when I was small. I was literally begging God to take my life when I was small. Instead of this pain, I was literally begging that God should take my life when I was small. Yeah. So this time around, I was crying, I was shouting. It was so painful that if you should use a razor blade on my skin, I wouldn't feel it.
Wow.
Yes, the pain was literally too much.
But why do some people feel pain at some degree and some people
don't? That's the body, that's the chemistry. For some people, it's different. Everybody's body is not the same. Just like what we were discussing the other time, and I told you that we are in a different age. People keep saying, our mothers did this, our mothers did that. Were they complaining like you guys? Our mothers did this. Our mothers were conditioned. They were conditioned to believe that this is part of who you are. But then it's not. Our mothers were literally at home sitting. All they did was give birth. They weren't working. Now, imagine what I thought about that day I was having this pain is if I was a 9-to-5er, I would be expected to come to work at this rate and put on a smiling face. If I was a receptionist, they would expect me to come to work I cannot even move. I couldn't move. I couldn't move. Some people cannot. Some people pass out from period pain. Yeah. So some people will pass out. It's not something I feel you can never understand period pain until you feel the pain.
Yeah,
You
maybe we
can
need to
never
plug that. What's that
a
machine
period
again?
simulator.
Yeah, we need to plug it on some of
you
our
can
callers today
you
so that they
can
can
never you can never. So there's a lot of things that comes with period that I really want to talk about, like the hormones.
Okay.
Very, very important. I want to use this opportunity to reach out to women all over Nigeria that can listen right now or we want to watch later, that there's a lot going on in your body as a woman. Now, the one we feel is the whole period, the whole shedding of blood and all of that, but then it's deeper, way, way deeper than this. There is hormonal fluctuations, like is a hormone that prepares your body for ovulation, is a hormone that prepares your egg to live, is a hormone that matures the egg, is a hormone that does every other thing. So when these hormones, if it's supposed to be like 50 and it just goes to like 49 or 51, there's problem. So it's supposed to be at a very good degree. So these hormonal imbalances and fluctuation, there is hormonal imbalance, of course, different, but fluctuations in hormone during a woman's period is what I want to talk about, right? Sometimes it comes with different signs and symptoms. Some of the times when you're ovulating or when you're about to see your period or when you are in your period, it makes you overly excited. You see yourself laughing at jokes that are not funny. You see yourself overly excited. For some people, you see them behaving the way they wouldn't want to behave on a normal day. You see them on comment sections commenting. Someone that doesn't comment at all. So you see them on comment sections, they'll be commenting. You see them on
Mood
blogs.
swings.
Yeah. So they have mood swings. And some people, I've seen someone, sorry to say, is a notable person, said that some women, some time of the month, they just start switching their mood, say you should learn how to keep your hormonal fluctuation can literally make you suicidal.
Wow.
Is that deep? Yes, it can make you suicidal. It can elevate stuff that is already happening in you. Sometimes you feel as if you're going through midlife crisis, or there's something literally wrong with you, or your life is not together. I can't seem to get my life together and all of that. Meanwhile, it's just your hormones.
Okay, before we touch more on the hormones thing, this is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters, and I still have with me in the studio a special guest of honor who's been helping us dive deeper on the topic of the day, helping us understand what the menstrual cycle is all about, and what happens when a woman is on menstruation, and most importantly, what do men really need to know about the woman's period, and how can they support? If you have thoughts and questions and opinions, please do well to join the conversation and calling on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Before you touch on the hormonal imbalance very well, I'd just like you to answer one question that he asked earlier. Is it okay, apart from the traditional and cultural perspective, is it okay if a woman is during her period, she has the hormonal imbalance, she's craving sex and all that, can she do it? Can she get intimate?
Okay, personally, I wouldn't want to like advise.
Okay.
People differ, right?
All right.
People differ on different things that they believe in.
Okay.
Right. So, but then, period on its own is not dirty. It's not, right? So some people decide they can have sexual intercourse during their menstruation, while some people say it's dirty. For some women, the woman that owns the body does not want to do it, right? For some women, they feel like, oh, I can try it. Say sometime you are having discharge, is during your ovulation, you're ovulating and you're having ovulation discharge, and at that point, sometimes some people's discharge is as heavy as period, right? So if you want to get pregnant at that point and you're married and all of that, you can actually have sex with the whole discharge. So period in quotes is literally that same discharge in red color.
Interesting.
So for some people they feel it's dirty, for some people but then it depends on individual.
So how can we control the hormonal imbalance? Now you've made it clear that okay, this can happen, that can happen, and you also mentioned that some of this can be influenced by our lifestyle, and everything going on around. So how can we control it? How can we balance these hormones so that we can be fine? Before we continue, let's quickly take a caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello, David.
Hi. Thanks for calling up.
Hmm. Yeah, I've been listening to the nurse. Like call it therapist or nurse or doctor.
She's a health
Which
coach.
one will I?
She's a
Okay,
health
health.
coach.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Appreciate what you are saying. Thank you for enlightening us.
We are
Thank you.
welcome.
Um, there, there is. Though you have answered my question, you said I was the one that asked. You know, people. I mean, women seeing their periods twice in a month. I think you said it is not constant. It changes.
Yeah.
Then the one that Debbie just said now, getting intimate on that particular time. Uh, personally, as just like you said, personally, I have seen a friend who did that on, and the thing really, nearly scattered the marriage.
How? How do you mean? Spiritually or
Okay.
what?
No, not spiritually. The woman was the one that forced the man to do that, and the man did not want to.
Okay.
So when they get to a quarrel and it, they get the villagers, involved, at the end of the day, it's almost separates the marriage. That the woman, they let that the woman is, she belongs to somewhere that that
That
she's
she's
using
using it
that
for
thing for
ritual.
something. Exactly, she's using
Okay.
it for something to tie the husband down. To tie the husband down. So, and that away from that, that is what happened. And that. But um, for the doctor that is there, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody said to me that blood do smell. Just forgive me if I say something wrong.
That's
Oh, I'm
fine. That's
sorry.
No,
okay.
it's okay.
I'm
We're talking
sorry.
about it.
Yeah. So yeah. So somebody said that blood that do comes out that period do smell. There are some people their own parts you can't even withstand it. The odor and everything is something is irritating. So please tell me, is this true
And is
or
it
not?
normal? All
Or
right.
is it normal?
All right. Thank you so much, Afam, for sharing. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right. Thoughts on Afam's before we answer your the how to control the hormones. So
Okay.
thoughts on what he just asked.
Okay. Is period smelly? Now, let me come from the perspective of anything at all, right? That is alive and sheds blood. If you should keep something over a long period of time, if you, okay, let's use meat. If you go buy meat and you don't parboil it, you don't wash it, you just keep it, give it like 30 minutes, 1 hour tops, it will start having odor, right? So whether or not period smells depends on individual and how they take their period health seriously. How many times are they changing their sanitary pads? How many times are they changing? So because if your pads are soaked for a long time, say from morning till night, you wouldn't, and it's full, right? So that means the blood from how many hours ago is still there, is still just piling up and everything. Is bound to have odor. But someone who changes their period pads, sanitary pads often the way they are supposed to change it, period doesn't smell in quotes, or the person already has B or something, but then period does, I'm telling you firsthand, period doesn't smell.
At least I know mine don't smell.
I know.
So
Period doesn't
I
smell.
mean,
It
I hear you. It's
doesn't.
very relatable because
It
it's
doesn't.
like human body. If you don't wash your body
And
for
for women listening, I will advise you do the whole washing instead of using tissue paper. When switch water to tissue papers, and when you are in your period, this is the time you bathe often, you change your sanitary pads often, so that things like this will not happen. Because if you should use one sanitary pad from morning till night and you remove it, obviously it's going to have some odor because it's been there for a long
interesting.
time.
So how do we balance these hormones? And avoid hormonal imbalances.
Okay, I want to start by, I started an outreach which we are still trying to get sponsors so we can go around secondary schools, talk to girls that are still starting their menstrual cycles, right? Most of the hormonal imbalances, they are all attributed to lifestyle, right? Now, you see people using morning after pill all the time. That's the postinol and post pill, whatever. It literally disrupts your. I've never seen. It's almost impossible unless the person is. Some women are just special. Some women, when they go on birth controls, for like a month or like 3 years. Some women can go on birth control for 3 years, and they remove it that week. That week they removed it. They'll get pregnant. Some women will remove their birth controls. Someone that has been pregnant before did birth control for 3 years or even for a year. They remove it, and 9 months later they can't even see their period. They will not be ovulating. They will not be menstruating. Why? Because everybody is different. What worked for you might not work for me. What works for your friend? So women usually make the mistake of trying to use in quotes what worked for their friends. So the whole where we get the hormonal imbalances from, a whole lot of time we have different types of hormonal imbalance. We have ceased menstruation, irregular menstruation. It can be hirsutism, the one you get women getting hairs in places they are not supposed to have hairs as women. It can be painful. There's a lot of hormonal imbalances, right? But most of them emanate from our lifestyle choices. Post pill, birth control, things we eat. So I would advise women to first off go for hormonal profile test. It's very, very important because I keep getting women who are young, and they have hormonal imbalance that they did not see on time. So when they're about like 21, 26, 28, you see their body behaving as if they're like 57. And someone who is 57 cannot bear children. That's why you have a high rate of infertility in women these days. People keep saying, oh, but our mothers, they keep getting pregnant. They were not having all these infertility cases. Why? There were no supermarkets then. People were not eating canned
Hamburgers
food and all of that. Yeah, people were not eating pizza. People ate real food, right? People ate real food. People drank real water that has alkaline and all of that. Like, everything was balanced. Right now, you sit in front of your computer, you don't go to the gym, you don't work out. Then people rode their bicycles to the farm.
They walked.
And they were indirectly working out. They were working. They were keeping busy. They were eating real food. There was nothing like canned beef, canned this, canned that. Everything was fresh. There was no freezer. People could not even refrigerate anything. So right now, it's very, very important that we as women take our hormones just the way we take care of our skin. I think I'm curating a package where, like, a package for hormonal care, right? You buy it every month because anything can literally trigger your hormones, from taking injections. Some women that have not seen their menstruation for a long time, that had issues of ceased menstruation just because of maybe antibiotics that they used, or because they treated ulcer, because they treated typhoid. So a lot of things can actually trigger your hormones. First off, go for hormonal profile test. Know the levels of all your hormones. Know the thing that is wrong with you. Some women have not given birth before, but they have milk coming out of their breast. They have high prolactin. They don't even see it as anything. Some people have different changes in their body that they don't, for one single day, consider as a problem until it's time to bear children. You see them running around. So take care of what you eat. Eat more real food. Do hormonal profile test. Know which of your hormones is off. Then look for someone who is a professional, a holistic professional, that will tailor methods that will help you regain
that
your
balance.
At least when you balance, they will be able to address and put you on a path to keep a good hormone. Because one thing is to correct your hormones that are imbalanced. Another thing is that next week it can go off again.
Interesting. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Guys, I can see you calling in, but unfortunately, we don't have much time. We have to wrap up the show. How can men be supportive of women on their period?
Men, I'm speaking to you in particular right now. If you're a man, you have any woman who is of a reproductive age, you should know that, first off, the whole mood swings most of the time is just that time of the month, and these women cannot even help themselves, not to talk of someone around them, right? So you can start by, when she's craving stuff around her period time, you can start by getting hard stuff. You can start by getting her heating pads, being supportive, knowing that this woman is in pain. If it's someone
sick,
that exactly if it's someone that gets painful period, know that she's in pain. She's not expected. I wish you understand the level of pain. You will know that if you are in this pain, You can't even think. You just want to be well. You can't think for yourself. Not talk of fetching water, washing clothes, cooking, and all of that, right? There are ways that women manage to just keep the front,
going,
keep the front and be supportive and all of that in the house. But then period hormones and all it comes with is not something that should be handled with without love. It's something you handle these women delicately. You buy them heating pads, you support them. Know that this time of the time she might just want to lie down on the bed, just eating and watching movies. Support her during this period.
Do the chores,
get
maybe.
get her sanitary pads, get her sanitary materials, buy her stuff that excites her so that she'll be in a good mood. Because sometimes you can't control the mood. You just be crampy, you just be grumpy. So this is how I think men can be support. And the best way to be supportive of a woman who is going through her period around you is to understand her. Try to put yourself in her shoe. Understand that this is not something normal. This is not breathing. It's not like breathing. When you have headache, you say, "Oh, I have headache." When you are sick, you go to the hospital. You expect special care. Understand that at this point in time in a woman's life, some people are literally sick. So treat the person just like you would treat
a sick person
with love and with care.
Exactly. I know a lot of times when people are sick, people can buy them fruits and stuff just to make them feel
better.
Do that
chocolates,
but chocolate sometimes causes more cramps. So.
For some people, it's
for
better.
me, it causes more cramps. Thank you so much, Chidima, for coming on the show. Ekume Chidima, a chartered health coach and more. Women's health advocate and more. Thank you so much for sharing. How can people find you in case they want to follow your leadership, and understand more on hormonal imbalances?
I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, but then I'm more on Instagram.
Yes.
Life with Chidima. Chidima with the double M. Life with Chidima with no space. That's my page where I teach people about hormonal health. I talk about life in general, then how to keep a good hormone, how to go through your period, how to go through menopause without hitches. And also I have two brands. One is a holistic food brand where we do food therapy, fruits and vegetable therapy, and food therapy for every health issue. We have juices, smoothies for BP, hypertension and all of that instead of using abrasive drugs. And I'm a weight loss specialist. If you want to lose weight and maintain it, I'm your guy. Put you through the lifestyle.
And most important, she has very nice content on her page, health-related content. So you can just check it out and be a part of it. Thank you so much.
And if you are passing through anything you want me to help you with, just come into my DM.
DM. That's the same thing I did. I saw her online and I DM'd her, and now she's here today helping us, understand the menstrual cycle. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
So all my listeners and callers, viewers, for being a part of the show, thank you so much for calling. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you. Sometimes we agree to disagree, and so that is what the show is all about. It's all about talking about these things, uncomfortable conversations, difficult conversations, and helping us just understand everybody from everybody's perspective, basically. So thank you so much for being a part of the show. Please follow at Deepwaters_podcast on Instagram and Facebook to be a part of the Deep Waters community. I'll be back again on Wednesday at 5 to 6 p.m. for another amazing show for you. So get ready. It's going to be a nice time to dive into deep, relatable matters. Thank you so much for watching. For myself and Chidima, bye-bye.
Bye.